4:25 p.m. Eastern. Green Bay Packers 2-3, 1-2 on the road. Denver Broncos 1-5, 0-3 at home. Empower Field, Mile High, Denver, Colorado, 73 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. And I have a sickness, and it's the Broncos. I can't stop it. It took everything not to bet them last week. Like I literally had it queued up so many times, and then they don't cover by a half point, and I saved that. I took everything. I wanted to bet them so badly, and they didn't deserve to be in that game. They didn't deserve to cover that game either. But here, I want them again, and I can't. I don't know what the hell is going on with me, but I want them again. Denver right now is at +1 at even money. They opened up at a +1 at -106. So there's been 6 cents of movement to the Green Bay Packers, and we talk about the optional misery situation here. I mean, I don't need to go through this. I don't need to experience this. I can just let this go, but I just have this sickness. The total is sitting at 44.5. That's where it opened. It's now juiced to the over. So we had 7-cent move to the over. We've had a similar type move towards the Packers. We get to the cash flow here. You have 42% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Broncos. So, line's not moving towards them, but feels like big bets are coming on them. 88% of the tickets and 77% of cash on the under. The Packers coming off their bye week. They were last seen in an ugly 17-13 loss at Las Vegas. So, there's some great stats here that we're going to talk about, the difference between how they open it and where they've been. And then you as a capper have to decide whether this bye week will then help and will help Jordan Love and will help LaFleur get through to him. And that's the most important factor here. They averaged 31 points over their first 2 games. They've averaged 17 over their last 3. They've been outscored 54-6 in the first half of their past 3 games. Love looked excellent off the hop, 6 touchdowns without an interception through 2 games. Love has 6 interceptions and 2 touchdowns over his last 3 games. He was the leading NFL in passer rating through the first 2 weeks of the season. He now ranks 28th in that category. He has completed 55.6% of his passes. That's the lowest percentage for any starting quarterback in the league. Left tackle David Bakhtiari done for the rest of the season with the knee injuries. You have Elton Jenkins, John Runyon, and Josh Myers. They're the only players on Green Bay's first team offense with more than 1 year of starting experience. So why would it change? We can go through the first team offense, but we're just talking, it's all, first year starters, 2 rookies and Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave. I mean, this team is going to be good at some point, but don't expect them to be good now. But are they better than the Broncos? Maybe. A.J. Dillon has struggled badly. Final season of his rookie contract. I mean, just thank God he's not like a friend of mine watching him piss away millions of dollars here. Aaron Jones sidelined. He's expected to be back this week. And Dillon just finally had his first decent game. He rushed for 76 yards in that last one before the bye. So Darnell Savage and Quay Walker are, both LaFleur says that we're hopeful that they potentially will be back for this game. I think they will be back. Broncos coming off extra rest after losing 19-8 at Kansas City on Thursday night. The offense was completely shut down in the loss, outgained 389-197. Russell Wilson 13-22 for 95 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. He also ran 4 times for 31 yards. He had 37 yards passing in the first half. The only drive he led past midfield ended on 4th down. I mean, this is atrocious. Cortland Sutton, 4 catches for 46 yards, touchdown. It's good to get him rolling. You got to get that big guy going. But Jerry Jeudy caught 3 passes for 14 yards. He's averaging 44.4 yards per game, and he's yet to catch a TD pass. Javonte Williams returned from injury to run 10 times for 52 yards. They were 1 for 1 in the red zone. If they could only get more opportunities there, I think we said the same thing about the Patriots, but they're 11th in the league converting red zone opportunities, 57.89% of the time. The defense bent but didn't break against the Chiefs. 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. They held the Chiefs to 4 of 13 on 3rd down, held them to 1-5 in the red zone. Justin Simmons had a big pick, and Greg Dulcich is back. The hamstring injury, he just come off IR from the hamstring injury. He re-injured it. The Broncos come in 30th in total DVOA. They're 32nd in NFL in points allowed. So last in points allowed per game. They're last in yards allowed per game. They have yet to cover a game this year and yet I want to back them here. What is wrong with me? Ugh. Take it away, Mikey. Packers, Broncos.
I'm with you. I want to back him. First of all, I've said it. I know our friend. He's not. I'm sure he's in Red October mode right now. So I will comfortably say, I think Jordan Love's bust. I don't think he's the guy. I think we'll see he sat behind this Aaron Rodgers on the bench for a couple of years. Now, is bust too strong a word? Maybe. Will I take it back? No. The fact is that I just don't think he's got the goods. I don't think he's got the mechanics. He might as well have been playing at North Dakota State, FCS type of program here. And we'll see what that does in terms of how his development's out there. But he should be developed by now, and he shouldn't be looking as inconsistent as he does. Flip side of the ball, Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's got to be a jerk. I think that, he's got birthday parties that nobody shows up to. His wife there, Sierra's throwing millions of dollars at things to get these nightclubs ready and have all kinds of surprises. And none of his teammates show up. I mean, it just tells me that things aren't in a good spot for Denver either. Now, let's get more tangible than what my gut tells me about some of these guys here. Big deal that Aaron Jones comes back. You talked about A.J. Dillon. I think A.J. Dillon had like one good season. Maybe fact check me on that. But I know from a fantasy perspective, I had him in 1 year, and it was like a productive year because he was the vulture in the red zone that was able to scoop and gobble up those touchdowns. But the Packers, they're throwing way too much with this kid here, Jordan Love. There's 7.1 yards on attempt in early down situations going back to last year. That ties for 10th best in the NFL. The Broncos allowing guys to drop back. They're 4th worst when it comes to giving up those opportunities. So, you've got a team that passes a lot in the Packers. Yeah, they're vulnerable on the Denver side of things to that pass, but by bringing Aaron Jones back in, you're bringing the one of your 1-2 combination in there to come out there and relieve some of that pressure from a guy like Jordan Love that can get himself into some mistakes out there. And we've seen that. They throw the ball 56% of the time in the season altogether. That's tied for 8th highest in the NFL. That's not a third you want to be in because you're behind the ball. You're showing that you can't establish that run and that ground and pound situation, and you're just tossing the ball all over the yard, hoping to get it done. So where I think there's a strength for the Packers, if they can get that ground game established, as the Broncos allow 8.2 yards per drop back this season, which is worst in the NFL. They're letting teams come out there and pass all over them. And we've kind of seen that if you look at how their overall performance is done. Yeah, there's injury. There's just not any kind of chemistry or mojo going on that Denver side of the house. I guess part of me is kind of in that are they due type of philosophy. I mean, you look at their last 2 losses, they lost to the Jets 31-21. After the Jets beat the Eagles and the Jets beat the Bills in week 1, I'm kind of willing to grade that as less of an umpteen factor than it looked like. And then the Kansas City side of things, Kansas City's only losses to Detroit, who we talked about earlier today, was an incredibly balanced team. So am I willing to give them a break on that? Then they beat Chicago 31-28. That was right around when Justin Fields was coming into his own and throwing the ball all over the yard. That was a big comeback victory in the 4th quarter for those guys to win that game. Flip side of things, we got the Packers coming here off of Las Vegas. I talked about this earlier. There are 2 teams this week because of the bye factor that come into this thing. But after a team plays the Las Vegas Raiders, they're 7-14 straight up and against the spread. They're 3-18 to the under, going under by 5 points. Home dogs, when the line is less than 4 points, totals less than or equal to 45, are 17-59 to the under by 40 points. I do have some numbers here when it's a home dog with a decent offensive performance the previous game. They're 25-8 against the spread, 18-15 straight up. Could the Broncos come out here and win this game outright? Wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, I'm not big and high on this Jordan Love factor here, but I think that ground game and establishing that enough for me to be concerned. The spot that I am going to take advantage of here, though, is that under. We're off that bye week where I talked to you guys about the under earlier in a couple of spots today. We got that post-Raiders game factor with the under, and we've got this home dog with some of these line parameters that make sense for the under. So I am going to take this under 45, and I hope that they can get that damn ground game going for Green Bay Packers to chew some of that clock up and force Russell Wilson to make some mistakes. And then watch Russell Wilson do some 50-yard combinations down the field and then turn it over in the red zone because they stink there. So under 45 at -110 for me in this Denver game.
We can get you that at -108 at Heritage. So we'll give you that under 45 -108. Well, I'm not going to bet this tonight. I have this, I don't know, it's just a sickness, man. I want to back the Broncos. I I don't trust the Packers. Yes, they're going to look better with Aaron Jones. Maybe I should just let this go. Just let this go. I'll have to keep telling myself that, hourly for the next 4 days. But I like the Broncos here. But and I think there's some truth to what Sky Dragon's saying. Love these struggling defenses that get rid of expensive vets. Sends a message to the rest of the team that no one's job is safe. And you saw that with J.C. Jackson with the Chargers. Chargers look great. Gregory.
I don't know that we can say that they actually got rid of Devontae Adams, though. He didn't want to play there. Let's be honest. He wanted the hell out of Dodge, right? Is that who we're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Randy Gregory.
Oh, okay.
Gregory
okay.
Getting shipped off to, or just being dropped, and the Niners picking up. He looked good for the Niners, but still, like the Broncos defense looked better. I just look, they're terrible, but they're better than their numbers say they are, I believe. And if that's the case, then we should probably take them at home. But I don't know if I can do it. Let's move on.